Hey guys, what's going on? We're at day one of Consensus in Hong Kong. This is Neo News Today. Dylan speaking with Ivan Poon. How you doing today, Ivan?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Ivan's an OG in the ecosystem, so maybe you could just kind of give us your high-level background in Neo, starting with Switch.io, and then how'd you build up to what you're doing today?
Wow, that's a pretty long journey. Yeah, so we started in 2017. Our first project at Switch.io Lab was on Neo. It was Neo Legacy, or Neo 2.0 back then. So we built the first DEX on Neo. Participated in the hackathon. I think we ranked like third or something.
Yeah.
And we launched a token back then because the gas price was sort of mispriced and it was too expensive to launch our project. And it turned out really successful. I think at our trading at a peak we had like 10 million or so trading volume a day, so that was fun. Eventually we moved cross chain and we built our own, basically like one of the first DEXs that was on Cosmos, Cosmos SDK. It's still running today. It's called DMAX. It has its own chain, DMAX chain, and it's bridged to like 20 different chains, so you can do spot, perpetuals, and the idea for that product is to be like the decentralized finance. So recently NeoX launched EVM, and that's what got us really interested in NeoX. So today Switch.io Labs, we actually launched Intersect Finance. It's like a lending and borrowing market for NeoX. And of course, we believe like everything should be cross-chain, and therefore Intersect is meant to be like the first cross-chain lending market for EVM chains.
Yeah. Because like I remember Switch.io being the go-to place to trade tokens back on Legacy, and then I remember you guys went cross-chain, and of course the big kind of splash back then was using the Cosmos SDK. So what have been some of the lessons learned building in a cross-chain ecosystem, and what keeps bringing you back to Neo?
Well, Neo has been great supporters of us, and we love supporting Neo. It's a great community. The team is great. I think that the blockchain and the direction that they take the blockchain is interesting. It's smart. So, for example, they are working on oracles. Neo is working on MEV resistance in an interesting way. Versus like Ethereum, where they try to outsource it or work around issues. So that's always very attractive to us. That's also why we built on Neo in the first place, because of all this, because of their vision. Yeah. So I think that's the main reason. Of course, there's many other reasons, like Neo has always been very supportive of us, where we try to go cross-chain. They support us with the bridges and things like that. So it makes working on Neo really we are not struggling, and very fulfilling at the end of the day. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think one of the cool things about DEMX is that you offer perpetual futures trading on Neo. So maybe before we talk about the simplicity that Intersect Finance tries to bring to users, can you share a little bit more about the vision for DEMX and how the platform is more oriented towards traders rather than everyday retail or DApp users?
Yeah, so I think for DMAX, it's really meant to be exchange replacement, or rather even like finance replacement. So you have everything that you need in one place, and it's meant for sophisticated users, and that's why we have the L2 order books. We have spot, we have perpetuals, and it makes things capital efficient in a way that you can say. Lend a token, use the collateral, and trade options or perpetuals using the collateral. Of course, all of these are pretty complicated or complex products, but it is what we feel that at the end of the day, a complete financial ecosystem will need, and that's why DMAX is built in that way. It's meant to be everything you can possibly think of.
Yeah, and then again, before we kind of like delve into what Intersect is offering, I'm just curious to hear about your perspective building in the cross-chain ecosystem. You've supported Cosmos, you've supported Ethereum, you're talking about supporting other L1s. What has kind of been the change over the years from when you first went cross-chain to maybe like what it was like in 2021 when we all thought that Cosmos was going to be the multi-chain solution, and then kind of like now in 2025 when EVML2s kind of reign supreme. How do you guys kind of view the cross-chain realm, and how do you keep your finger on the pulse for which different kind of ecosystems are worthy of building into or building toward? What's just kind of your outlook on the shifting sands?
Right. I do think that in terms of developer mindshare, if EVM has really, it's quite hard to beat the Ethereum ecosystem in terms of EVM, and that's why I think like NeoX is a step in the right direction also. By building EVM, by supporting EVM, you basically have a lot more mindshare. It's easier to get developers, and so it's so it's really important. If you don't have that, it's always going to be an uphill battle in terms of selling to developers, because you have another pitch, you have a whole like a different tier, a different step that you need to market to the developers that you should learn a new language, right?
Yeah.
So so in terms of blockchain wise, I think EVM is here to stay. And in terms of like cross-chain, how the whole thing works, I do think that we identified really early on that I think that we thought that IBC is the correct way to do things, and that's why we were very happy with the Cosmos ecosystem. However, I think IBC, Cosmos SDK, the technology is quite different from the ecosystem in terms of the projects and in terms of how they try to bind or pull together the whole community. So on that aspect, I think Cosmos Hub didn't do super well. And in terms of the projects there, I think it's like a hit and miss. So, but notwithstanding, I think the technology is one of the best in terms of interconnectivity, in terms of how you can build application chains, layer one chains like DMAX, where you need to just throw away the VM and build machine level code that can execute very efficiently, and that's the only way to really build like finance on chain. So I still think that holds true today.
Cool. So then NeoX launches. NeoX is an EVM sidechain, and you guys decided that Intersect Finance, you wanted to build on X. It's also cross-chain. So can you share what Intersect Finance is and kind of what the cross-chain vision is for the platform?
So for Intersect, it's more of a building block, because on EVM, like I mentioned, it's really hard to build everything together. You need composability instead. So our vision for Intersect is really to keep it simple, to keep it interesting for the normal user or the retail user. So our focus is really on supporting a wide range of assets, gamification, making sure that the UX is easy. It's easy for user to understand that, hey, if I put my asset here, which I cannot put anywhere else, into Intersect, I get this much APR. And on top of that, let's say we have incentives, programs, points, we make that clear to the user. Other gamification techniques could be like NFTs and basically making the user feel good about lending the assets out. So I think that's the direction that we are taking for Intersect. And it's more, and it's really geared to the masses, whereas DMAX is more for like if you are really a finance person.
Yeah, so it's 2025. You just mentioned NFTs. NFTs aren't dead.
Yeah, I think they have a place in terms of not in terms of trading, but in terms of like community building, and in terms of so for example, when even not in the blockchain space, when you get like a random you upgrade your tier on Grab or Uber. I mean, Uber doesn't have it, but Grab, you call them a premium customer. It just feels good, right? Like you are I don't know, like Miles, airlines, they all have this kind of reward programs. And in a way, I think that's what NFTs really are. They are a badge that says that, hey, you're a loyal user, give them something cute, give them a gold star. People are happy with that, and I think it appeals to the wider market still. In terms of NFT value and trading NFTs, it was always sort of maybe for me,
Yeah. What are the kind of assets that folks can use as collateral or that they can borrow on Intersect Finance?
So I think at the start we will keep it simple. The stable coins, of course the native tokens, NeoGas, and then the bridge assets like Ether and WBTC, CBBTC. We want to quickly move forward to LP tokens. So for example, if Flamingo has or Uniswap has a deployment, I think supporting LP tokens are really useful because at the end of the day, if we give users the double dip opportunity, that's a very good way to get TVL. If you let them use their LP tokens as collateral, I think it's pretty powerful. Very few lending markets actually do that. And of course nowadays there's LSTs where you have like it's very popular nowadays where you earn yield on your token. So if we can use that as collateral against the double usage, it's capital efficiency, and if we make that easy for the user to understand, I think that's another way of getting TVL into the protocol.
Yeah, you mentioned LST, so are you guys planning on acting as a bridge between something like EigenLayer and NeoX, or?
We have our own solution.
Okay.
Right now it's mainly based off XLR, but we have extensions of it in the same way that previously used Poly Network and we built on top of it. So for XLR, we extend it in a way that makes it permissionless for us to add more chains, and I think that's the strategy we'll go. Of course, for the sophisticated users, we do want to, like, for example, use the collateral or the lending token from NeoX into DMAX. And on the flip side, bringing LSTs into NeoX and into Intersect. Yeah.
Cool. So what are kind of like the next steps? What if you could ask folks who are familiar with you and the projects you've worked on but haven't checked out Intersect Finance, what are kind of the first things that you would suggest they do, and how can they onboard into the platform?
Yeah, I think join our Telegram, try to connect. We have a points campaigns coming out soon, and it will be on both testnet and mainnet. So that's basically additional yield for users who want to alpha test, beta test. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we've done multiple interviews over the years over Zoom, so it's a pleasure to finally be able to chat with you in person, Ivan.
Yeah, it's likewise.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
And if you want to hear any more of the interviews that we've conducted here at Consensus, head over to the Neo News Today YouTube channel.